What up guys, it's Mr. E, and today I'd like to discuss gold with you guys, because it seems like they added more reason for us to collect it in Season 15, and let me show you guys the ways to actually collect gold and use gold in this game. So something new that came out Season 15 is this traveling merchant over here. So this guy you can find randomly throughout the maps. You can only find one per game, so after you find him, if you want to find him again, you have to vote reset, or you can save exit, whichever you find is easiest. And basically he trades items for gold. You can go up to him, you can say buy items, and if you're lucky he might have a boss item, like a boss set piece. He has battle fragments, he has dimensional shards, he has all different types of tokens that you can craft at town. So you never know. He even has boss pieces, like the ones that you need to collect in order to get to Uber Damien. So this guy's awesome, and you want to try to find him as you're running around throughout the maps. There is no specific way to find him faster, just running through the maps as fast as you can seems to be the easiest way to find him quick. The price range on his items varies from about 2k an item up to 5 million gold. The item that might be 5 million might be a boss set item, like a hat or, a piece of gear. Those are the type of things that would cost about 5 mil. So make sure, if you guys are looking for amazing loot from this guy, you try your best to save up to at least 5 mil. I know it's not easy, but I'm going to show you guys how to get that gold, and I'm going to show you in this video right now. So one of the first things you might come across in the game that will, boost the amount of gold you can get are a couple relics. So one of the relics being Hand of Midas. Turns things into gold, right? Well, basically the more enemies you kill, the more gold is going to drop off of them because of this relic. So it's actually a really nice relic to have while running around if you want to pile up a bunch of gold. Over time, you'll notice a huge difference, but if gold's not that important to you, don't pick up the relic. A magnet actually helps a lot, because all that gold needs to be picked up, right? And you don't have time to run over to every single pile of gold, and your pet that you might have, if you have one, might not feel like running across the room to pick that up either. So pick yourself up a magnet, it makes things easier. That way, you can just run through the room and get just as much gold as you want. There are a few other ways to make gold besides just collecting gold in the game off of mobs, and some of those ways are actually from collecting resources such as ore and powder. So as you're breaking down legendaries and mythics, you can, collect as many of these as you want throughout the game, or you can turn them off so you don't find them as drops anymore. But if you really want gold, you don't want to turn them off, because you could just break all the dust down and all these ores down that you end up not using throughout the game. Most people won't farm up a bunch of iron and gold, but you have a chance to find 1,000 of each type of ore, besides, jade. But you have a chance to find like 1,000 of each ore off of a chaos shrine if you get lucky, and those can be sold to the merchant here in town for gold if you want. So if I was to break all this down, you'd get actually a lot of gold. Right now I have 11.4 million gold, and this is on my live account. So if I was to go and break all this down, all of that, all of that, all that, and all that, I went from 11.4 to 12.5 mil. So it's not too hard to collect gold if you save up a lot of material mats, and you just break them down here at the NPC. So as you're playing throughout the season, there is a good chance you're going to collect a bunch of ruby ore. And some of you might be like, well, I know what ruby ore is for. I'm going to use that to reroll my relics. Which makes perfect sense, right? If you die in softcore, you only lose your relics. You don't actually die off like you would in hardcore. Well, so you might have saved a bunch of ruby ore, And some of you are like, I'm going to sell that. I'm going to make lots and lots of rubies because people are going to buy it because they're going to die a bunch. So they need a bunch of copper. And so they're going to buy a bunch of this ruby ore. And what do I mean by that? So if I was to go over here and I was to go in here to craft and I go to mining, you'll see that you can convert ruby ore into copper. For every 10 ruby ore, you get 25 copper, right? So that way you can come over here and craft a bunch of relics if you want. That's the easy way to get relics. But there's another thing you can do, right? So if you can see right here, it says 10 ruby ore equals 25 coppers. So if I go over here and I pull out my copper and I come over here and I look at the sell options, do you see this? Do you see how they cost the exact same amount per ore? You get what I'm saying? Right? So all I'd have to do is go back to here, take my ruby ore, and just start making 2.5 times more, right? Make 2.5 times more copper out of the ruby ore. And then if I really need the gold, I just sell all of the copper ore, right? And then I get even more gold. So this is a quick and easy way to make gold if you got a bunch of ruby ore saved up. You guys can thank me in the comments below. Besides using gold on the traveling merchant, there is a couple other reasons you might need gold. So if you go into your options menu, you'll see that if you want to rename your character, it's going to cost you about 1,000,000 gold. You know, just a simple million, nothing too fancy, just 1,000,000. Yeah, that should be less. It's too much. What are they thinking? 1,000,000 gold to rename yourself. Oof. To reset your talents, you might do this quite often, and it's not too bad. 37.5k when you're at max level, so it's not too bad. But that's another reason you might need gold. Same goes for mercenary. You can reset his stuff, but luckily it's free, so you don't need gold for that. Another reason you might need gold is if you're over at the wormholes. If you happen to, for some reason, want to reset your ranking on wormholes, it'll cost you about 5,000,000 gold. Why would you want to do this? I suppose if you're farming with, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. It doesn't make sense. Back in previous seasons, it made more sense because you could literally farm like Wormhole 1 over and over and over again. And maybe you accidentally push too far, mobs and stuff are getting too hard for you, and you just want to go back to farming Wormhole 1 over and over because it's fast, it's efficient, it gave you a lot of drops so you could stack magic finding wormholes. But they don't let you do that anymore. So what's the point of resetting, and why does it cost 5,000,000 gold? I don't have an answer for you. Let's just pretend that this option's not here anymore, because most people aren't going to be using it anyway. Besides that, there is one other way I know to get gold, and that is by collecting a bunch of gems. So all of these gems in here that you use, and you can upgrade them. Some of you don't even use them. Some of you just stack them and you're like, I don't know what these are for. Why would I even use these? They're so much worse than runes, right? Well, you can go to the NPC and you can actually sell them, and they give you gold. So if you plan to never use them, and you've been holding on to hordes and hordes and hordes of them, well, doesn't matter. Even the smallest ones sell for the same amount as the largest ones. So basically, if you want to get the most out of it, don't even upgrade them. It costs a whole bunch of smaller ones to make a bigger one, right? So why not just store the smaller ones and break them all down for gold? And that's how you make gold in this game, guys. If this helped you, make sure you subscribe, and feel free to check me out live on Twitch. I stream Monday through Fridays. Have a good one, and good luck, guys.